Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And Martin Eder is with us. He's the executive director of Activist San Diego, founding member of KNSJ 89.1 FM, and San Diego's only progressive community radio station, knsj.org. And you can tweet them at KNSJ San Diego. And we're pleased to be on that station. Martin, welcome to the program.
Wonderful to be on with you, and really wanted to tell you something. We just had Donald Trump here, and we wanted to put out to all activists around the country some perspectives that really became clear to us in terms of what Donald Trump, what his real strategy is in dealing with opposition and dealing with the truth.
Okay.
And I'd love to tell you more about what
please
was
do
a
so.
provoked kind of response, provoked violence.
Yeah, go for it. Please tell us.
Basically, Activist San Diego is a 17-year-old social justice organization, figured prominently in pulling people together in a quickly thrown together coalition called the Love Trump's Hate Solidarity Network, and put on a press conference and had a very peaceful gathering. But all along the way, the media was asking us, and their main line of questioning was, how are we going to deal with the violence and the violent protesters? And we said, just take a look at us. Here we have reverends talking immigrant rights, lawyers, nonviolent advocates. There is not going to be anything here.
So you guys were among the protesters, Martin?
Absolutely. We held a very successful, we were up to 2,000 people who came out in front of the San Diego Convention Center as Trump was doing his rally. But there were, as very much as Donald Trump wanted and predicted, there was this violence. And so the Trump strategy, and I think people across the country need to know, is to deflect criticism of his own program and focus it on what they're going to call, he tweeted after, thanks to the San Diego Police Department for dealing with the thug demonstrators.
Yeah.
Something so far from the truth, but just fed his line that they are being victimized and their free speech is being denied to them, when actually there was provocation both by the police and by Trump supporters to create the very scenario that fits his plan. That's
really interesting. There was in 1933, as I recall, I'd have to go back and look. I write about this in a book I wrote called We the People. It's an illustrated book. There was a fellow by the name of Marius van der Lubbe. He was a mentally ill Dutchman, and he was in Germany, and he identified himself as a socialist/communist. And a bunch of buddies of Adolf Hitler's got him into the Reichstaggebäude, the Parliament building, and Marius van der Lubbe set it on fire. And as the Parliament building was burning, this would be the equivalent of the U.S. Capitol, Adolf Hitler, who at that point was not yet Chancellor, ran over there. He'd been having lunch with Bismarck, whoever it was. Anyway, he ran over there and got in front of the microphones and said, "This is a sign from God. We need strong leadership to take on the country. These are the anarchists and the communists who are trying to destroy our country." I mean, as much as I hate the Adolf Hitler analogies with Trump, because I think Trump is more Berlusconi than Hitler, this is an old playbook, isn't it, Martin?
Absolutely. And what we found is that the police did their policing in such a way as to create that very thing. They have, they brought out, the San Diego Police Department brought out new weaponry, new tactics, new armored vehicles that had not been seen on the street in San Diego for this peaceful demonstration, and created the very scenario that allows for that kind of funding, militarized tanks, a la Ferguson, and with some very small incidents, managed to start a melee, and some of what wasn't immediately visible to somebody. Some of they funneled the Trump supporters out. They had us in a free speech zone. The anti-Trump, and there was supposed to be a free speech zone for the pro-Trump. They never set up. Nobody ever entered the pro-Trump area. Instead, they were allowed to intermingle and to be able to confront. And some of the Trump supporters came out of the speech and holding mace down at waist level, sprayed mace into the faces of some of the demonstrators. In one case, punched a young woman. So it looked like, this angry reaction of peaceful demonstrators and the outrage that happened. Suddenly there were some plastic water bottles thrown and things like that. And then they declared it an unlawful assembly, destroyed the...
And that was the end of that. Hang on just a second, Martin.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-536-2370.
Martin Eder, the Executive Director of Activist San Diego, founding member of KNSJ 89.1 FM in San Diego. Thank you, Martin.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.